Hey there, deep diver. Ever scrolled past those news stories about multi-million shilling government contracts and thought, hey, I could do that?
Right.
Well, today's deep dive is for you.
Yeah.
We're taking you inside the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of Kenya.
Okay.
And trust me, it's way more interesting than it sounds.
It really is. This act is basically the rule book for how anyone, even you listening right now,
Wow.
can offer your services or products to the Kenyan government. And it's packed with safeguards to make sure everything is above board.
Okay, let's unpack this. So the act covers a ton, from the big picture of why public procurement matters to the nitty-gritty details of how contracts are awarded.
It does.
But for someone just starting out, what's the most important thing to know?
The act champions open tendering.
Okay.
Think of it like a level playing field where anyone meeting certain criteria can submit a bid. It's about transparency and equal opportunity right from the get-go.
That's reassuring, because I think there's often this perception that government contracts are shrouded in secrecy, only accessible to those in the know, right?
Right. But this act throws those doors wide open.
Huh.
It's designed to be a roadmap, not a maze.
Okay.
So let's say you're a small business owner with a great product, maybe even something that could really benefit your community.
Yeah.
The act guides you through every step, from understanding the tendering process to ensuring your bid is evaluated fairly.
So it's not just about submitting the lowest bid and hoping for the best.
Not at all. The act stresses that price, while important, isn't the only factor.
Right.
The evaluation committee has to consider things like quality, delivery time, even a company's track record on things like environmental sustainability and supporting local communities.
That makes sense. Awarding a contract solely based on the cheapest option could backfire down the line, right?
Exactly. You want the best value for the money, which often means considering the bigger picture.
Right.
And this is where the act gets really interesting for small businesses and entrepreneurs, especially those from historically disadvantaged groups.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Deep diver, are you ready for this? Because I'm about to blow your mind. Tell us more.
The Act has specific provisions for what it calls preferences and reservations,
Okay.
which can give you a real leg up in certain situations.
Interesting.
For example, if you're a women-owned business specializing in, say, sustainable construction materials, you might get a preferential weighting during the evaluation process for a government building contract.
Wait, so it's not just lip service. There are actual quantifiable advantages built into the system.
Absolutely. The Act recognizes that government contracts can be a powerful tool for promoting social and economic empowerment. It's about creating a more inclusive economy and ensuring everyone has a fair shot.
That's amazing. So let's say I'm a woman entrepreneur who makes incredible eco-friendly school furniture. I submit a bid, and let's just say hypothetically another company, a huge corporation, submits a bid that's slightly cheaper. But let's face it, their furniture is made with questionable materials and they don't have the best environmental track record.
Right, and this is a perfect example of where those preferences and reservations come into play.
Okay.
The evaluation committee, using a clearly defined points system outlined in the Act,
Right.
might actually rank your bid higher even if it's not the absolute cheapest.
Wow, so the Act actually levels the playing field and incentivizes businesses to prioritize things like sustainability and social impact.
Yeah.
That's incredibly powerful.
Exactly. It's about aligning government spending with broader national goals.
Yeah.
And it's not just about who gets the contract, it's about ensuring the entire process is fair and transparent.
Speaking of transparency, the Act must have some serious rules in place to prevent any funny business, right? Like, what's stopping a government official from steering a contract towards their brother-in-law's construction company?
That's where the Act gets really serious about conflict of interest.
Oh, this is where it gets juicy. Give us the dirt.
Juicy might not be the word, but the Act is very clear. Any government official involved in procurement can't have even the appearance of a personal stake in the outcome.
So no whining and dining potential contractors with taxpayer money.
Absolutely not. And it goes beyond direct financial gain.
Yeah, okay.
Your spouse, sibling, even a close business associate
Right.
having a stake in a bidding company.
Oh, wow.
The Act throws a wide net to catch any potential conflict of interest.
Wow, they really thought of everything. It's like they're trying to anticipate every possible loophole.
That's the idea. Remember, these contracts are funded by taxpayers, including you listening right now.
Right.
The Act is designed to protect your interests and ensure that public funds are being used responsibly and ethically.
It's about accountability, right? Making sure that decisions are being made in the best interest of the public, not for personal gain.
Precisely. It's about maintaining the integrity of the entire procurement system and building public trust.
Okay, so let's say I've submitted my bid Everything's squeaky clean on my end, and I'm lucky enough to win the contract. What happens next?
Well, the Act doesn't just abandon you after the contract is signed.
Okay.
It outlines clear procedures for managing the contract, handling any hiccups along the way, and ensuring everyone is fulfilling their obligations.
It's like a prenup for government contracts, making sure things go smoothly, but also laying out a plan if they go sideways.
That's a great way to put it. The Act covers things like contract variations, delays, and even termination. It's about having clear mechanisms in place to deal with the unexpected.
So, for example, let's say I'm contracted to build that school library we talked about earlier, and midway through the project, the government decides they need to add an extra classroom.
That's a classic example of a contract variation. And the Act outlines how such changes must be handled.
Okay.
It requires clear communication, documented agreement from both parties, and most importantly, a transparent assessment of how this variation will impact the cost and timeline of the project.
It sounds like the Act prioritizes open communication and documentation throughout the entire process. No more backroom deals or handshake agreements, right?
Exactly. Everything needs to be in writing, properly authorized, and easily accessible.
Yeah.
It protects both the contractor and the government and ensures accountability every step of the way.
This is all making so much sense. It sounds like the Act is really trying to demystify the world of government contracts and empower ordinary citizens to participate.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You don't need a law degree or a team of lobbyists to navigate this system.
Right.
The Act provides a clear framework, emphasizes transparency,
Right.
and promotes fairness for everyone involved.
So, deep diver, if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a small business owner, or just someone with a great idea and a desire to contribute,
Yeah.
don't be intimidated by the world of government contracts.
This Act shows that it's not some exclusive club. It's an open door for anyone with the skills, the drive, and the commitment to ethical business practices.
We've given you the inside scoop, but what's the most important thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
I think the key takeaway is this Act,
Yeah.
the Kenyan Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act.
Right.
It's not just a bunch of legal jargon, you
Yeah.
know? It's a powerful tool for change, for economic growth, and for building a more equitable society.
It's like they say, knowledge is power. And today we've armed you, dear deep diver, with the knowledge to navigate the world of government contracts, whether you're a seasoned business owner or just starting out with a brilliant idea.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to dive in, do your research, and see if there's an opportunity for you to contribute your talents and services. Who knows? You might just land that dream contract and make a real difference in your community.
And if this deep dive sparked your curiosity, I urge you to check out the Act yourself. It's free, publicly available, and honestly quite fascinating once you get past the legal language. We've just scratched the surface today, highlighting some of the most impactful provisions.
Oh, yeah. There are so many more fascinating details we didn't have time to cover. Like, did you know there's a whole section dedicated to what happens if tendered documents get lost?
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's incredible. They truly thought of everything.
They really did. It's all about ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability at every step.
Well, there you have it, Deep Diver. The Kenyan Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act.
Yeah.
Your guide to understanding, navigating, and maybe even conquering the world of government contracts.
Happy bidding.
And until next time, keep diving deep.